What is going on, everyone? Thanks for checking into our latest TDR Cannabis in 5 presented by Dutchie. I am your host, Shad Dales. Today, we're heading back to PA, where lawmakers are locked in a strategic tug of war over adult use cannabis legalization. Well, what else is new? We've got Republicans demanding the House pass their bill first, and Democrats firing back that they've already passed their own, and a governor pushing reform through the budget process. So here's what's on deck today. We'll map out the competing legalization proposals and who supports what. We'll examine the strategic disagreements between the House and the Senate, and we'll also look at what's at stake, budget gaps, public health, expungement, control models, and where things might go from here. A lot of confusion in PA. I can only hope this gets simple. So with that, let's get into today's TDR Cannabis in 5 presented by Dutchie. First up, let's focus on the core showdown in Harrisburg. Senator Dan Laughlin, the chair of the Senate Law and Justice Committee, says the ball is in the House's court. His message, quote, "House, pass my language and send it over. Then I can negotiate with the Senate and the governor," end quote. That's a clear handshake of intent, but only if their text goes through. Then on the flip side, the Democratic-controlled House, led by lawmakers like Republican Ryan Bizzarro, he fired back. Quote, "We already passed our bill. We have the votes. You need to show you're serious. Schedule a vote, call a hearing. The ball is in your court," end quote. So clearly right there, you can see the tension. Both chambers have legislative momentum, but neither side wants to go first. And this has been playing out really for years. Okay, so now with the back and forth established, let's break down what's actually in these competing bills because they aren't the same. So let's unpack the substance behind this actual fight. The House bill that advanced this session proposes a state-run model, much like Pennsylvania's liquor stores. The Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board would oversee adult use cannabis sales. It also includes homegrown allowances, expungement of possession convictions, and funding directed towards social equity, plus the significant revenue projected in the first year. Then on the other side, Senator Dan Laughlin and Senator Sharif Street, they're working on a private licensing model, including a brand new Cannabis Control Board to regulate adult use legalization, with dispensaries run by licensed private businesses instead of the state, which many people approve of. So that's a fundamental difference, not just about who sells cannabis, but about control, competition, and possible private sector involvement. So now with the disagreement clear, let's put the spotlight on what's motivating each side, because this isn't just a policy debate. It's also about money, it's also about timing, and it's also about pressure. So why all this urgency? Well, first thing that comes to mind is budget pressures. Pennsylvania is on the hook for billions in unmet Medicaid and education funding, and legal cannabis revenue is seen as a potential lifeline. Estimates range from $250 to over $500 million in the first year alone. Second, there's regional competition. As we know, neighboring states like New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, and Ohio already have adult use markets. Letting that commerce flow past Pennsylvania, not into it, is becoming a financial and political liability. Third is public support, and it's very strong. Polling shows over 66% of Pennsylvanians support legalization. That grounds the push in both political and popular legitimacy. So now that we've covered the legislative models and motivations, let's now take this to the political level, meaning who's for it, who's holding it back, and what's the likely plan that either advances. So let's walk through the notable players, and first up, none other than Governor Josh Shapiro. He's championed reform and included legalization in his 2025-26 budget proposal. He's gone on record saying, quote, "I won't concede on legalization," end quote. He believes reform can balance the budget and really grow revenue. The next notable player is Senator Dan Laughlin, the first ever PA GOP senator to support adult use legalization. He initially backed state-run dispensaries, but later shifted to a private model because it has a broader path in the Senate. Next up is Republican Ryan Bizzarro. He's been blunt and direct. "We have the votes, now bring your proposal, show us you're serious." Then across the aisle is House Democrats like David DeLasso, who has floated a state store model to limit corporate influence, but that bill also stalled. Then on the Senate GOP front, you have Senate Majority Leader Pittman, Senator Scott Martin, and others remain reluctant or opposed to adult use legalization under any model. So with all these voices, from the governor to House Democrats to state Republicans, really what comes next? Because really time's ticking fast towards the budget deadline. So here's where things stand as of right now. The July 1st fiscal year deadline has already passed, so legalization wasn't folded into the budget deal, but Governor Shapiro Shapiro has made it clear this issue isn't going away. Now the focus shifts to the fall session. The big question, will the Senate bring its own legalization bill forward, or will they swallow the House version and try to amend it? Meanwhile, House Democrats are actively encouraging voters to pressure their senators, reminding them that every month Pennsylvania delays, neighboring states then cash in. So the bottom line, a deal is still possible this year, but only if one chamber blinks. Otherwise, this fight, it stretches into 2026, and this is something that's happened in PA for years. So to wrap it up, the House bill sets up a state-run model with equity and expungement at its core. The Senate version favors private licensing with new regulatory oversight, and Governor Shapiro is pushing hard. Public opinion is overwhelmingly supportive, and the budget pressure is very, very real. The only question that remains now is, who makes the first move? And with that, that's it for today's latest TDR Cannabis in 5 presented by Dutchie. I know a lot of you are looking at this story in PA. Is it becoming more confusing? Do you still believe something is going to happen? We heard that earlier this year that it would get happen, but as this progresses later in the year, it's becoming more and more complicated. So let's see who makes the first move and whether or not that move actually indeed does happen. Let us know in the comments below. Do you think PA is actually going to pass adult use cannabis? Love to keep this conversation going, so let us know with your feedback below. As usual, if you found this breakdown helpful, give it a like, smash on that bell for notifications, share it with your network, and like I always say, make sure to subscribe to us here at TDR. In the meantime, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you next week at our latest TDR Cannabis in 5 presented by Dutchie. I'm your host, Shad Dales, and thanks again for watching.